Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for today's lecture related to the to the skills required to work in the non-for-profit sector in Canada. Now, let me share with you first some information related to the non-for-profit organizations or companies. In Canada, if you would like to start a corporation, you can just go to Service Ontario, if it's in Ontario, or Service Canada, if you would like to register your corporation in Canada. Okay, so federally corporated as opposed to provincially corporated in Ontario. So you go to Service Canada, and you're going to search for registration of a corporation. And then when you register your corporation, you're going to have also the option to give a name to the corporation, as well as, again, writing about your corporation. It asks you for your first name, last name, address, exactly, and then what are you going to do with your corporation. And then you're going to pay the amount for the registration, and you will receive an article of incorporation for a for-profit corporation in Canada. Then with that article of incorporation, you can bring it to any bank, your bank, preferably, and then you start to have the business account for your for-profit organization. And then you are going to now do your services, productions, import, export, any type of service. You now can expense from your bank account, which is the corporation bank account. And then you can also receive money. Again, the money cannot go to your personal bank account, but to your corporation bank account. And obviously, you're also going to collect any tax related to the type of service or product that you're offering. Now, obviously, there is a difference between non-for-profit corporation and for-profit corporation. In a for-profit corporation, you're going to have revenues, you earn money. You're also going to collect taxes. You will also have expenses. You have to buy, you have to have internet, cell phone, a car, maybe a condominium for your business office, for example. So many other things, the trips, business trips, of course, or business meals, are all expenses. So at the end of the year, the fiscal year that you adjust for your company, it's usually end of April, we are going to have our revenue, we remove from our revenue the expenses, and what is left is called a profit. So for-profit companies or corporations, they can have a profit. Now, on that profit, you are going to pay taxes as per the actual laws and regulations. And once that tax is paid, whatever is left in your corporate bank account is your corporation's money. And this is your profit that you can keep. Now you can keep your profit, increase your profit, buy another car for your company, buy another condo for your company if you're having some service related that are related to your business. Of course, don't forget whatever you earn for your company, okay, can be spent for the purpose of your business. Don't forget that, not personal. So now you understand that this is a for-profit corporation. Now, let's talk about the non-for-profit corporation. In a corporation, you may have stakeholders or shareholders. In a non-for-profit corporation, you can only have members, no shareholders. You cannot be only one person, the only person owning 100% of the corporation. Here, in a non-for-profit corporation, you need to have a board of directors. And everything will be done based on the decisions made by the board of directors. Your non-for-profit corporation is a corporation. It has a bank account. You can also register your non-for-profit corporation by going to Service Canada if you want this to be federally incorporated, or you can go to, again, Service Ontario. In Ontario, for example, if you want this to be provincially incorporated. And of course, we have 9 other provinces where you can also have another non-for-profit organization. in other provinces. So the difference, there are several differences, and this is not a course for finance, but allow me still to go over a few interesting, I would say, points and details about the non-for-profit organizations. When you have a non-for-profit organization, as its name is telling us, you cannot accumulate any profit at the end of your fiscal year. So when you are getting the money, when you are getting some funding from the government, and I'm going to tell you where you can go and apply for those funds, at the same time, you can also get revenues, okay, in addition to the funds, by buying or selling. What Value Village does, for example, is that they get the, I would say, all of some items from different people for free, and then they will put them in the shelves and they will sell them at a very low price. So this is a service that they offer, and they earn money by selling the products or the objects that people, items that people, they don't use anymore. So it's illegal, and it's a very interesting activity as well. Now, with a non-for-profit organization, as I mentioned, after receiving the funds for different services that you're going to offer to the community, like writing a resume, like, for example, I don't know, giving some courses on Canadian citizenship. Okay, there are so many different, giving English courses, for example. These are all different services. And of course, much more than that, that you can see. Then we also have the funding and the revenue that we get that we are going to expense in order to offer that service to the population. At the same time, we also have to hire employees. So we do have jobs that are paid in the non-for-profit sector. Now, what happens is that after paying the salaries, after paying for services that, again, that's why our non-for-profit organization exists, we will end up having nothing at the end of the fiscal year. And this is exactly the purpose of the non-for-profit organizations or companies. You cannot accumulate profit. Whatever you are receiving must be expensed. Now, expense for maybe buying assets. You can buy a building, for example, for your non-for-profit organization, and you can then again give the rent, I would say, different apartments in the building to people at $200 per month. You can do that. Okay, why not? So you can, instead of, I would say, giving away your profit that you have, and you have to end up by not having any profit at the end of the year, this is fiscal year, you can buy assets. And this is how you will see that non-for-profit organizations, they become bigger and bigger. Another thing that they do is that at the end of the year, if I am having a $10 million surplus and I didn't expense $10 million, my non-for-profit organization can give that remaining of the profit to another non-for-profit organization. This is why, and I'm going to give you numbers related to the non-for-profit organization figures in Canada, and you are going to be amazed by how this sector is flourishing. And it's working, and it's a very interesting, I would say, sector. So first of all, and I'm going to go over here, this is, of course, you can go to, again, CanadianCharityLaw.ca website. This is from CanadianCharityLaw.ca, and you can always look into figures. The one that is very interesting for us is to see that we have, as of 2023, we have 83,991 registered charities. In Canada, about 85,000. And you will be amazed by learning that as opposed to this high number, we have about maybe 30,000 for-profit corporations. Now, for-profits, they make profit, they pay taxes, they invest again, they expand their business, and of course, they can always accumulate a profit, as opposed to non-for-profit organizations where they cannot accumulate a profit. There is one exception to that. All of the colleges and universities in Canada, they are non-for-profit organizations. Okay? Many hospitals, almost all, they're also non-for-profit organizations. And what they do is that, mainly for colleges and universities, there is an exception for them because they can make a profit and they can now transfer that profit into their budget for the year after. So they are non-for-profit organizations, but there is one exception, and it doesn't mean that they are now for-profit organizations, but it means that we allow them, the laws and regulations allow them to, again, postpone, or I would say to send to the next fiscal year their um, profits. And this is why you see how, to what extent we see colleges and universities expanding, buying buildings, making new libraries, new, I would say, campuses as well. So this is why. So something else which is important is 300 billion in total revenue for Canadian charities and total expenditures of 281 billion. So this is about a $500 billion business that we have in Canada. And as you see also, we have 3 times more non-for-profit registered organizations. Of course, after a few years of being non-for-profit, you can now ask to change your status to charity. Difference between non-for-profit and charity is that there is an incentive for people to pay taxes, I would say, sorry, tax benefits. How it works? If you have a non-for-profit organization, I can always give you a donation, but it will not necessarily be removed from the amount of tax that I am paying in the next fiscal year personally. But when you have a charity company, any amount of money that you are receiving under the name of donation from any individual or any corporation is going to be automatically removed from the amount of the tax that a company or a person has to pay. This is why many, again, charities, what they do is that they work with corporations as well. And corporations, instead of paying, of course, they pay their taxes to the government as well, but corporations, they also have the option to pay donations instead of paying their taxes, to pay donations to charity companies. The best example that I can give you is with Bill Gates, our friend, who owns, of course, Microsoft. And what happens is that he also has a charity company. So Microsoft is a for-profit corporation, and the charity that they have is it's a charity corporation. Now, what happens is that Microsoft, for example, can pay donations to the charity of the same person or under the control of the same person. And what happens here is that instead of paying that money to the government that would be expensed in a different way based on the policies and the strategic, I would say, management or financial management of a country, this amount, it will be given to the, again, charity, and then the charity can now buy assets, can buy lands. As you know, a very huge percentage of the lands in the US is owned by this charity. Okay, so I gave you an extreme example. Okay, but let's go a little bit, I would say, go backward, and then let me now continue by talking about those taxation and incentives. So I was talking about the fact that the non-for-profit organizations, okay, they can become charity after a few years. And then they can now receive donations from different individuals. Even yourself, you can be member of the board of directors, and you can also pay from your own salary. You pay again donations to your charity under your control, and you can, of course, you don't pay that amount to your taxes neither. Now you understand why we have so many I would say, charities in Canada. Not in many countries, it's the case as well. And it allows now, why? That's because it allows people to provide services that are much more diversified, that are much more helpful, of course, because, governments, they do their best. But when you are in the community and you are, I would say, in connection with the community, there are several needs that are not met, and those needs are met by the activities of those non-for-profit organizations. This is another reason why we have about 85,000 charity companies in Canada. Okay, so these are companies that find out they are connected to ministries in order to get funds for specific programs. They're also connected with the laws and regulations that may change, what you would like to know about that. They're also connected to different institutions and people, so that we are going to send or open some fundraising campaigns, and we are going to ask people to pay us, give us some donation, and we will give them, again, a certificate or a proof that this has been money that is donated for our charity cause, allowing us to do our work. And in this case, the person doesn't pay that amount anymore to the government, because now it is invested in your charity company for your humanitarian reasons. So, very interesting topic, very interesting business as well. Okay, so we give you, I would say, you are given the freedom to do yourself something human, something that you can, some services that you can offer to people. And ministries, the government as well, they are all behind you. They help us to do that. That's why we have so many registered charities in Canada. Now, let's go over the comparisons. You would like to know, okay, what are the differences? Here I'm talking about financial differences only for now, because later I will need to talk about the jobs. Okay, so for the jobs, obviously, I need to first explain what is happening in a charity company. So here you see on the left, again, I would say any type of characteristics for a for-profit organization. And on the right side, you have all of the characteristic tasks for a charity or non-for-profit organization. So I'm just going to compare for the financial statements, for example. In a for-profit corporation, we have a balance sheet, we have the income statement, we have statement of cash flow, and we have the statement of owner's equity. However, in a charity company, we have the statement of financial position. All of the templates are already, again, on the website of Government of Canada. You can find them. We have a statement of activities as well, and we have the statement of cash flow. So this is very similar, not identical to each other. Both companies, they make profit, but one cannot keep it, one can keep it. And both, they are, of course, again, have some incentives for taxations. Then let's go over the balance sheet. So it's an owner's equity section. Now, for the charity companies, this is a net assets section. So we look at the assets here. Anything that is owned by the name or the corporation, your charity corporation, is an asset for you. So if you have $20 million at the end of your fiscal year, you will have, of course, to expense it, or you have to pay it back. But if not, you can buy assets, grow your charity company hire more people, offering more services, but you cannot accumulate that because this is a non-for-profit organization. The last thing is about the income statement that we call a statement of activities in the charity companies. So in the corporations for profit, we have the income statement. It shows revenue and expenses because then we want to see what is the profit. And it shows either a profit or net loss. We can have a corporation where we did expense more than how much we earned, and because of that we have a loss. And if we have a loss, obviously we don't have any profit for paying tax on the profit. Now, for the charity companies, the statement of activities shows sources and uses of funds that I'm going to tell you in the next slide. Where are you getting those funds? Because with those funds, you'll be able to prepare or offer, make new jobs. So here, it can be positive or negative change in net assets. Now let's go over the list of the jobs that we wanted to see. So here, I'm going to just tell you right like now, if you look today to eluta.ca, for example, or indeed.ca or glassdoor.ca, you will see that we have about 3,000 non-for-profit jobs listed on platforms that I already mentioned. You also have regional opportunities. So major cities like Toronto, oh my God, there are so many um, charity companies. And as of today, we have about 500 non-for-profit jobs that you're going to see in the next 2-3 minutes. We also have job posting platforms specifically for the non-for-profit organizations. And for this one, I can show you this one, which is connectjobs.ca. I repeat, it's connectjobs.ca. Connect Jobs is in one word. So we can see here, for example, these are all jobs in Ontario for the non-for-profit sector. We can have online, you see, online program coordinator. We have a director of sales, learning experience designer, school settlement worker, link instructor, okay, relief shelter support, relief childcare worker, executive director. So, and again, there are more and more of these jobs. But what you understand from here is that these are jobs where this is not a volunteer job. As a volunteer, we will not give a volunteer a job for which someone is being paid. If you want a volunteer to work, we have to pay the person, and then it's not a volunteer job anymore. If you would like to be a volunteer, obviously, you can always go. Some people, many students, they would like to learn more about a sector. They go and volunteer because they would like to do observations. We don't include them into everyday activities as much as a paid employee. And if you would like to apply for jobs in the non-for-profit sector, in this case, you have to look into the job postings. Those job postings are here, as I'm showing you, at connectjobs.ca. And they're all professionals. It's exactly like searching for a job in indeed.ca, okay, or on eluta.ca. And for those jobs, you also pay taxes. It's exactly the same job. And of course, we have a job description, you have to write your resume, apply for those jobs. So it's not a matter of going to a charity company or organization, going in and say, hi, how are you? I want a job. It's like you go to any for-profit corporation and you say, hi, I want a job. You will need to prepare your resume. You will need to, sorry, to have some experience in the field. And then you will need to apply for the job going through the proper channel than anyone else. Now you can always volunteer to get in, to know more about people, about their business, their business, I mean their services. And then you can now prepare your resume as well, and then to apply for jobs, knowing about what job you are applying for. So now here we have a bilingual resource specialist. It means that the person must have some qualifications. In a non-for-profit sector, we are still giving professional services. So we need to have the required certifications. We need to have to meet the requirement needs for each job as well. Now let me go back here, and I'm going to again continue with where I started talking about the types of jobs in the non-for-profit organizations. The first category is about administrative roles. So I'm going to read these positions such as administrative assistants, office managers, and executive directors. For each of those, obviously, you will need to have the credentials. You need to have a documented proof of a formal training. You may need to have some years of experience in order to apply for the administrative jobs as well. The second category is the program management. So this is again, roles are focused on developing and managing specific programs or initiatives within the organization. We understand that your charity or your nonprofit organization has some services and products to offer. So now we understand that those services or products, they have to be developed. So we need to have timelines for different tasks involved in the development of those programs. That's why we need program management. So these are people who do know about project management. They know about different programs. They have information about the social programs, and they also know what program they can now develop and then to manage related to the business of that charity company. We also have another category of jobs in the non-for-profit sector is fundraising and development. So these are jobs that involve securing funding through grants, donations, and events. So if you have any experience for writing about, asking grants by writing grant proposals or requirements. If you have experience in creating programs that will again allow people to give donations to your organization for your humanitarian cause, or if you are able to do events, organizing events for your charity company so that people, they come and they are going to, of course, benefit from a service or from an event, and then they're also going to give their donations, then you can apply for this type of jobs. We also have another category in the obviously jobs in the non-for-profit sector, which is the community outreach. These positions are aimed to engaging with the community and promoting the organization's mission. Your mission may be to help newcomers to find a housing. It may be, again, another organization or the same, where you are helping the newcomers for learning English, learning French, learning something, some type of a skill, or helping them. I was involved just for training, of course, for the multi-million-dollar projects for refugees who were coming from a specific country, coming to Canada. So the program was not just to teach them, the program was to greet them, to send again volunteers to them, to see them, to talk with them, to see if everything is okay, if the integration of those newcomers is being done smoothly in the Canadian society. Okay, so very interesting job, very interesting topic. Yeah, as I told you, about 30 million dollars or so budget for that. Okay, but this is because we have community outreach people. So people who are engaging with the community and promote the organization's mission by talking about what the organization is doing to the society. So when I was again involved, for example, we had a community outreach person whose job was to show what the organization is doing, how we train. I was training those again people who were going to help those newcomers. Okay, so that was in psychology, and those trainings, for example, they must be shown. We have to give a service, a good service, and then to show to the community that we are doing something, we are making a change, we are helping the members of the society. And this way, the society is going to give us donations. It will allow us to continue with what we do. Okay, so the other category of jobs is research and policy. Why? That's because we need to know where are those funding institutions, those companies. We deal with the population. Okay, we have some fundraising campaigns, but we also need to know if there is any governmental incentives or any policy or any new law or regulation that is again changing this I would say the strategic management of the society, the way that we are going to again increase or the number of services, or maybe stopping some other services that are offered because they are not up to date anymore. But we need to learn about those again rules, those new funding opportunities, learning about the policies that are written by the government and different ministries. And this is the job of those who are going to, again, help the non-for-profit or charity company to get more funds. So in conclusion, the non-for-profit sector in Canada is thriving with numerous job opportunities available across various fields. Whether you are looking for a career in administration, program management, or community outreach, there are plenty of options to explore. If you're interested in finding a job in this sector, consider checking dedicated job boards like workinnonprofits.ca or Charity Village for the latest listing. What I showed you was an additional work, which is here, for example. You can go to um, eluta.ca. Okay, this is eluta.ca, and I just wrote on the top non-for-profit, and you have, oh my God, 3,715 jobs in Canada. So there's a lot. If you want to apply for these jobs, just open any of these jobs, look into the job description, and then look, analyst, for example, look into the job description of the work, and then you're going to look into what they're asking, look into the education that they need, you update your resume and you submit that. Now they will tell you how to apply. It will depend again on how a job is being posted. They have different systems that are online, and I just leave it to you as of this step, because uh, I cannot again go over each and every HR system that is available. Now, coming back to Eluta, okay, you can see that you can easily go over several of these job opportunities. If you would like to now just search for Toronto, for example, um, you're going to have 787 available jobs. So here you're going to look into these jobs. If you think that you are a good candidate for this, you have the experience for that, you update your resume and you're going to apply for the job through their own interface. So here, senior community partner, you see, this is about the community. So here I go to this website and I'm just going to look into the job description, the qualifications that they need. So it's written here, casual undergrad certificate degree, positive attitude, 6 or more years of proven access in a project management or operations management role, etc. And then they will tell you how to apply. So here they want you to just send an email to them for the application. That's why you have to go over each and every of these job descriptions, update your resume for this job, and then to connect with the human resources. And what I also showed you, and I think you saw that as well, is here the salaries. So if you would like to apply for administrative roles, salaries are in Canada are around $40,000 to $50,000 per year. As an office manager, it goes a little bit higher, up to $65,000 per year. If you become an executive director, your salary can go up to $120,000 per year. If you are involved in program management, so you need to, of course, have a certificate in project management, have a few years at least of experience relevant to the program management, and then your salary can go up to $80,000 per year. Now, for the fundraising and development, this is the activities where we want to engage with the community and then to get their donation so that we'll be able to continue to provide our best service, our best humanitarian services to the population. So here it goes up to $100,000 per year. Now, if you would like to outreach the community, so this is the job for those who would like to deal with the community. Okay, we can now have events, for example. It can go up to $70,000 per year. And for those who need to learn about the policies, about different changes, about governments, or not just here, maybe with the United Nations as well, we have so many different sources of funding that we can find. And who does it? Research and policy staff. So what's their job is to find out, of course, where are those fundings and doing a research, looking into the future of some policies, for example, so that we'll be able to adapt our strategic management with, again, any change that is coming in the future. And their salaries can go up to $90,000. Now, giving you examples of non-for-profit companies, again, in Canada, okay, sorry, for funding companies, we can look into the government grants and loans. So the Canadian government offers a range of grants and loans specifically designed for non-for-profit organizations. Don't think that they are $2-3 million. No, they may be from $1,000 to $10,000 per program. And they do it on purpose so that that money, that fund, can be now distributed in a very, I would say, very honest and very, I would say, effective way in between different organizations. But you can have a non-for-profit organization and having 200 applications of 200 funds. So it's not you may not have $20 million, okay, but you are going to have 10 or 20 funds of maybe 8 to 10, $15,000. Each of them is for a specific service that you are going to offer. Another place where you can find I would say, grants is Ontario Trillium Foundation. I will not go into details. I just tell you where you can go because there are so many of these funds that are available to the non-for-profit sector. Another place is corporate funding programs. Another one, funding for the corporations, because when corporations are paying for and give donations, obviously this is tax deductible. But at the same time, corporations now can also improve their image in the society. They show that, yes, we are contributing into improvement of the life conditions of the society. How? By, instead of giving our tax to the government, that will still be very well managed, but by giving this under the donations for the specific um, not-for-profit corporation in a specific area in Canada. Okay, so you see, it's a win-win-win situation for everyone. It's a good way to, I would say, get the funds and exactly achieve your goals for helping people. Now we also have a provincial funding initiatives. Here you have are those again those who are in the I would say the administration. They are also going to look into the policies, looking into the fundings, and what they can do now is to look into the provincial source of income. And you also have community and religious organization grants. We can also have people member of a specific religious group, and they can all again give their donations to their specific charity company, the one that they believe that they are really giving good services for the community. So now you understood that fundings are coming from different institutions in addition to earning money by making a product. Okay, even parking, you may have again, college or university, they can have again an activity which is related to their mission. However, they also have a parking spot. They also have buildings. They may rent some classes. They do. They may also pay ask students and professors to pay for the parking spot. That's what they do as well. They may also now prepare or make some food or prepare some, I don't know, in the fashion, school of fashion, they may also make some clothes, okay? And then they can sell them as well. So they can generate sources of revenue, but they're all going to become a profit that, for again, educational sector, they can put it to the next year. But if you're dealing with a non-educational, non-for-profit organization, in this case, they can earn money from different sources, and they have to expense it and not to accumulate any profit by the end of their fiscal year. Okay. So here, no, I went over that. I just wanted to show you connect non-for-profit or non-profit jobs. If you want to search for jobs available in Canada, you can go to the website connectjobs.ca. This is the place where we go and you can apply for those jobs. I already talked about the Eluta here, that's just for searching for jobs. Now here, I was just looking into. I showed this to you as well. It's just a job posting for again a job. The last slide is just to compare how much you may earn in a non-for-profit organization as a full-time employee or as a part-time or contract employee. It's interesting because this is coming from the government of Canada, and this is, again, the results of a survey as of 29th of November 2023. So what you would like to know here is what's the average salary that a business manager in a non-for-profit organization can obtain. The average is $49 per hour, but it can go from $27 per hour to $77 per hour. Now, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that in different provinces, you're going to have different median, I would say, salary per hour. So when you look at a job, first we look into the sector. Then we are looking into, for example, as I showed you here, connect not-for-profit jobs, looking into what jobs are available. Then you can, if you want, go through here, or you go to eluta.ca or indeed.ca. You are going to look into what are the qualifications needed to work in a non-for-profit organization. Now, those jobs, as I already told you, are having different categories. So I went over the categories that are administrative, program management, fundraising and development, community outreach, and research and policy. And then I went over each and every of those job categories, and I showed you again, the salary relevant, of course, or associated with those jobs. So for administrative role, you can have several level like administrative assistant, office manager, or executive director. So for each and every of those jobs, you will need to search for the job posting, read the job postings, review your resume, update your resume, get the certificates that you need in order to show that you are qualified. Also look into your transferable skills that you're going to add into your resume, and then to continue to apply in order to obtain those jobs. So my friends, I hope that you liked today's presentation. And thank you so much again for joining me.